bite?
Yeah. Got one.
This week on Kentucky Afield, kayaking opens up all kinds of fishing opportunities, including tournaments. And we're on the water at Dale Hollow Lake with one of the best kayak anglers out there.
I tell you what, that's what Dale Hollow's known for right there.
Next, for many outdoors men and women, it just doesn't get any better than raccoon hunting behind a great dog.
She's excited.
Then, waterfowl season is in, and we're looking back at a piece of the state's waterfowl hunting history. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Such a pretty fish.
Beautiful.
This pond is plumb floated with frogs.
They're everywhere in here. Yeah, this is a good fish right here. Really good fish.
Come here, girl. Hey, boy. That's a big rabbit. Nice job. Yes! Yes! My first muskie. Mercy Leo!
Yeah, look at it. It's a keeper.
There it goes. Boom!
Wow, that happened fast.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. If you fish here in Kentucky, you had to have noticed the explosion in kayak fishing. Many people still think kayaks are for small streams and ponds, but they can be useful on the big water as well. So Kristine, where are you from originally?
I'm from the little town of Weeping Water, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Got about 800 people, 801, something like that.
What got you into fishing? Is there a really good lake to fish there local?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh heck no.
No, my whole family, oop, there was one right there, hold on a second.
Get a bite?
Yeah. Got one. Oh, it feels like a good one. Yep, good fish. Big smallmouth. Woo.
Very nice. Woo. You found that grass edge.
Man, look at that beautiful fish.
Very nice. I tell you what, that's what Dale Hollow's known for right there.
That's a healthy fish. God, love it.
Uh-oh, here we go. Finally got one hooked up here.
And you didn't flip the kayak on the hook sack. That's a huge
hey,
win.
I've got a fish on it. I'm still dry. That's a win-win for today.
Now appreciate the intimacy of that fish being so close to you right now. That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, look at there.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take it though. Beautiful smallmouth fish. So at what point in time did you decide that you were going to do the majority of your fishing out of a kayak?
Well, about the time I looked at the price of a Ranger.
Yeah.
I think I was in my early 20s. I bought one. There was a flyer for a little local kayak fishing tournament, and that kind of got me into it. I think I spent like 800 bucks on my first fishing kayak. It was a used one I bought online. It's kind of taken off since. And it's allowed me to travel all over the country. I can handle it by myself, and I can fish any water I want, which is really nice. You know, some of the small rivers and creeks, big water like St. Clair.
You fish a lot of big water, don't you?
I do, yeah, I absolutely do. A lot of my tournaments are on you know, giant bodies of water. There we go. It definitely, you have to really do some map study prior to jumping on a lake like this. We can't just run spots as easily.
You're limited a little more on how far you're willing to go, and you got to watch the weather too.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in some pretty inclement weather on this thing. I would probably consider myself a multi-species angler with muskie Muskie fishing is my passion, always has been. Oh my gosh! I grew up fishing muskie, pike, walleye up north. Nebraska's not necessarily known for your bass fishing, but I'm very active on the national kayak bass tournament scene. And so I've been doing that for 3 years now.
Active is one way to say it. Extremely successful is another one. I mean, you've won your fair share too, haven't you?
I've had a pretty good year this year. Yeah, I was really consistent last year. I did win a local tournament last year, and I had several top 5 national level finishes, but I didn't win a big one. And this year I won 3, so that was kind of a neat deal for me.
So people who think, okay, tournament style fishing in a kayak, how does that work? Because you don't have a live well, you're not taking fish in, but you do it on a different method than what most people used to, and that's overall inches, right?
That's right, yeah, which is really good for conservation because we do catch, photo, release on this little measuring board I have back here. You measure the fish, you've got a predetermined identifier, and that fish goes right back in the water. Gotcha, okay. It's great for the sport, and it's great, you know, those fish go right back and they're not out of the water for a long time.
Oh, here, I got a bite right now. This fish here is gonna pull me out there, out to the ocean.
Yep, we'll take you for a ride.
It's a good one here.
That looks
now.
like a good one.
It's a good fish.
You might want to use the net on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful fish. That's a 20, I bet.
What do you know? I think I just landed a 4.5 pounder in a kayak. This might be a first for me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is a good fish here. And I tell you what, did you see that pull my boat?
Yeah.
I need to get out of your way here.
No, you're fine. I cast right behind you.
Look how thick that thing is from the top to the belly.
Yeah. Do you want to put it on the board and see how long it is?
We can do that.
That's got to be a 20.
Yeah, it's probably 20 inches, and I bet you that fish there is at least 4.5 pounds.
I say that's got to be 4.5. Let's throw it on the board real quick. We'll see how long it is. So for a tournament, we'd have an identifier somewhere along the board. I usually strap it up here.
Okay.
But then what we would do, you take the fish. That's gonna go right at 20, like I thought.
20 inches.
Yep, make sure the mouth is closed. Look how thick that fish is.
So you would then take a picture of it.
Yep.
And it would immediately upload 20 inches. It would be real time, or do you get your data at the end of the tournament?
You take the picture and then submit. You can either submit it right then and there, or you can wait. Some people sandbag.
Or you sneak in about 60 inches worth of bass on them at the last second?
Yep. That's a beautiful fish, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's why Dale Hollow has a very special place in my heart. And the first time I was on this lake, I fell in love with it. I think it was back in May a few years ago. They were pre-spawned at that time, if I'm not mistaken. And gosh, it was just incredible.
For someone who's from Nebraska, you do spend a lot of time in Kentucky, don't you?
I spend more time in Kentucky than I do. I'm in Nebraska maybe just once or twice a year anymore. I'm in Kentucky and Tennessee, this part of the country, a lot. Man.
Did you get a bite?
Right under the boat.
Oh, man.
My line caught my rod right after that's why I don't ever keep my rods up front like that. Bad habit. Really bad habit.
How many days a year do you think you spend on the water?
Boy. I would say at least 300. I'm not joking.
You're like, how many days are there in a year?
I know, there's 360 something, right? I'm on the water most throughout the year. It's every single day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! For at least a few hours. Maybe it's bigger than I thought. But it's what I do full time, so it's, they say if you love what you do.
Yeah.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Oh, look at him! Oh, that's huge.
300 days a year. I bet you hold fishing license in at least 8 states right now.
9.
9.
Well, I've got annuals in 9. I just looked at this the other day. I think I've got 26 or 27 other ones that I've had just purchase licenses this year, but 9 annuals. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, yeah. This is about ready to happen right here.
Now we've got to pull one more off of this spot. We've missed several.
Uh-oh.
You kind of called that, didn't you?
Yep. This one ain't quite as big as the last one. Pretty aggressive though. I tell you what, these fish, man, they school up on the edge of these grass mats you can catch good quality fish and big numbers of fish out here in the wintertime. Who would think in December is one of my favorite months to fish out here at Del Hollow is December and January, February. Well, I'd say we make a few more casts. We got so many spots, you know, we're a little bit less mobile, but we can hit more than one spot.
Oh yeah.
We're here today with Zach Couch, and you're the at-risk species biologist, right?
I am.
You brought some what looks to be crayfish.
Yep, I've got one of Kentucky's 65 species of crayfish here with us today.
65 different species.
65.
And still finding more, right?
Yep, this is the 65th species. This is one that doesn't have a name yet.
You can't have a species of crayfish without a name.
That's right.
Well, these things need to be named, so.
We need to name them.
You actually found them, so I guess technically you have the rights to do the naming, is that how it works?
That's correct. So the way that we describe a species in science is that whoever finds it or whoever wants to go through the work of actually writing the publication or the species description, part of that publication says this is what this species name is. So what we're looking at doing is opening this up and letting the folks of the Commonwealth decide what the name of this species is.
Oh, very cool. So you've done all the hard work, the paperwork is all done, with the exception of the name.
Yep.
If you wanted to name these crayfish, there's an opportunity for people to do that by going to fw.ky.gov/kywild, and they can submit a bid and hopefully win the opportunity to name this
That's
crayfish.
right. You can name it after yourself. You can name it after a loved one. You can name it after your company. You can name it after whatever you want to, as long as it's not anything profane or inappropriate. It is essentially up for grabs. So if you've ever wanted to name a species, now is your opportunity.
That is really cool. Any other particular characteristics when they start thinking about names out there that you might want to include with these?
No, I'm going to leave that up to them. Like I say, it is found in southern Louisville and around northern Bullock County in the Pond Creek drainage for anybody that's familiar with the area.
So obviously if a person names it, it's going to have that name forever, right?
That's
What
right.
else would they get?
We're going to provide them with a copy of the manuscript that actually describes the species. That's what will be out in publication. We'll get them a really nice photo of the species so they get to see what they named. And they'll have the opportunity to continue to preserve the species, maybe through additional encounters in the future.
All the money that's generated by making a bid and naming the species is going to go straight to Kentucky Wild, right?
That's right. It'll go to Kentucky Wild, and we'll be able to put that money back into focused on conservation for this species.
So we know where to go to find more information. It's at fw.ky.gov/kywild.
You'll be able to bid on this throughout the month of January, and then once bidding closes, we'll hope to announce within the first couple weeks of February who is the winner.
Well, hey, great job on
thank you.
finding this new species of crayfish, and we look forward to seeing what type of creative names that people can come up with.
Absolutely. I'm sure they're more creative than I am.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
One of the topics we get asked to cover the most is raccoon hunting. And earlier this year, we went out with a championship-winning hound right here from Kentucky. Well, Nick, we're a long way from Knox County.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, you told me you travel all over the state to chase raccoons, huh?
Yeah, we travel about everywhere.
I've seen some pictures of this dog, and this has been a pretty special dog for you. She
Yeah.
doesn't know me, she's getting to know me now, isn't she?
She's friends with anybody she meets.
What kind of dog you got here? What's her name?
Allie,
Allie, okay.
she's an American Blue Tick.
And now this dog here has actually won some awards, hasn't she?
Yeah, she won the Grand American back in 2017. A couple other hunts she's placed real good at.
You actually brought some friends with you. You actually are in partners with this dog, right?
Yep.
You know, that's kind of a good way to do it, because to get a dog to this level, to win that type of award, she's got to be out working quite a bit. You're not going to go twice a month and get a dog to this level, are you?
Yeah, it takes everybody, you know, to run them in the hunts and everything and keep them where they need to be. I'll cut her right through here.
Tell me the perfect coon hunting situation. What are you really looking for?
Above freezing this time of year.
Yeah.
Dark night.
Low wind, probably?
Yeah.
A lot of times some of your best nights are actually in the summer. I know a lot of people don't like summer hunting. We got snakes where we actually live, but A lot of times, you know, around cornfields and stuff, just actually running dogs, not killing coons, but just running dogs.
Yeah.
Man, those cornfield hunts are fun too.
Oh yeah, I bet.
The red line right here, that's Allie's track. Shows her down in this holler here off around the point. Little blue arrow, that's us. That'll track us. That way if we need to walk back out the way we came in or anything, you can always look at it. You hear the difference in her track bark there. She'll throw 2 or 3 of those and then she'll kind of roll it over to a little more steady of a chop.
And what's that telling you?
It tells me that she's treed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she's treed right now. How far out is she? 4 or 5?
462.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start moving that direction, huh?
There, see it.
You already see the raccoon?
Yeah. Coon's right up there in that fork. That's
Yeah,
a good sized coon.
I can see it sitting right there. I haven't seen his face, but I definitely see the coon.
Yeah. There's 2 of them up there.
Oh, is there 2?
One right there in the main part of the tree is the big one.
She's excited.
You ready?
There we go. That's just a reward.
Yeah, that's made her night. She's happy.
We got a second coon in this tree here, and we really don't want this dog to come back to this tree right now and keep continuing to come back to the tree and re-tree it. So we're gonna cut Allie loose and get her out. But this landowner is seeing a ton of raccoons. He's overrun with raccoons and his turkey population is suffering because of it. So we're gonna cut her loose and get her going and then come back and go ahead and get this one out too. There we go. It's all part of your management plan for your property. And that is, you gotta have a good balance of predators, you gotta have a good balance of wildlife, and this is a situation where the balance is a little out of whack. Not enough turkeys and way too many raccoons.
She's up to the right up here at this holler. She's about 180 yards from where we're at right now. Let's say that made it home, didn't it?
She on a den tree?
Yeah. Right here it says, boy.
You can see it?
Yeah, it's inside the den.
Oh yeah, sure is. Well, we're gonna get the dog, move her away. Obviously, this was a success. She treed a raccoon right here in this tree, but in this situation, you gotta just tip your hat to the raccoon and say, well, you made it home. You know, you could take a shot and kill that raccoon, but that's not an ethical shot, and we're not about to do that. We're gonna move on up and set her loose again. Your girlfriend that reached out to us, she has a little girl that you take hunting some as well, right?
Yeah. She gets to go with me a lot around the house and stuff, and she's all about it. She really enjoys it. We can go right out the back door and be in, you know, some pretty big mountains, and we'll go back there, you know, turkey scouting. She loves hearing them gobble, and we'll hunt for sheds.
Well, that's the good thing is, you know, usually if you really don't like to hunt and fish, it's either you've never been exposed to it or you didn't have the right mentor that had the patience with you when you're little. Yep. Because if you get with the right person and you get out and you do this, you're gonna like it. I mean,
yeah, it gets in your blood, definitely.
Yeah. Looks like she's only about 200 yards right here this way, so she's treed. Let's hope it's not a den.
Is she on that seat? Oh, she's on that vine.
She's pretty sure of herself.
Yeah, it's a coon right there, ain't it? Yep. Right there's a coon.
There he is, boy. There he is. Look at that. Nice job. Allie's got him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys, that dog did a great job tonight. On a really short work night, we come out here and she treed 4 coons. We ended up getting 3. We saw coons on every time she was treed. There wasn't a situation where we never saw a coon. So we know that there was not one time she cold trailed.
Yeah, she done a good job. Kind of bad weather out tonight, a little cold.
Makes it rough for a dog. She showed me a lot of game on a little bit of acreage tonight.
Yep.
So she really did a great job. I know you guys got a haul tonight to get back home. Thanks again for coming out and making a quick night's work out and getting quite a few coons treed, so it was fantastic.
We appreciate y'all having us up here. We had a great hunt, great time with y'all.
Since this piece aired, it's been one of our most popular on YouTube. Now let's check out hunting from a sneak boat. Randy, I've heard a lot about these boats called a rollover boat.
Right.
But I never thought that I'd get an opportunity to see one in action.
You know, before World War II and right after the war, most of the duck hunting that I was aware of, you know, my father's era and all, they didn't hunt with decoys. They floated on the river and snuck up on ducks. And these were sort of the ultimate sneak boat for the Ohio River. It rolled on its side, and once it was rolled, it looked like a log floating down the river. It was especially effective in high water. You just kept it rolled over and floated along looking like a log, and the ducks weren't afraid of you when you rolled it back up, and then you'd shoot.
We'd be right on it, right there.
Where he's supposed to be. I got the first shot, and you got him when he's right out there.
So you don't roll the boat on its side until you physically see ducks, right?
Well, most of the time, if I got fast water, I keep it rolled over about halfway and just drift. But if it's a slow river, our river anymore is like a big lake. What I will do, I will row, and whoever's in the front of the boat will use a pair of binoculars, and when they see ducks, then I tend to back in, move to the back seat where I've got my wide paddle, and I usually have it stuck up in the gunnel, so it's real easy for me to get to, and once I roll the boat over, then I just gently paddle down on them, and you don't, part of this is about not being in a hurry, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
If there's a drift running in the river, if you paddle faster than the drift, you scare the duck.
You look unnatural, yeah.
So you want to look natural, and I like to get right out. If there's drift there, I like to be right in the drift. I like a bunch of junk around me.
Okay.
It's like, sort of like it hides you. And sounds is your enemy. I mean, a duck will hear you set your paddle in the bottom of the boat. So a lot of times I just release the paddle when I'm sculling on my last stroke, just let it go and worry about the duck.
Okay.
I think a lot of duck hunters don't understand how well ducks hear.
Yeah.
And they tried to build some of these boats out of aluminum, I was told, and they wouldn't work because of the sound of the waves hitting the boat.
You're telling me this is kind of unique to Kentucky.
As far as I know, most of these boats were built in the Louisville area. I also have had a lot of references to boats around in the Henderson, Owensboro area. There was boats in that area. Then there was some of them all the way down to Cairo. Now, whether they had builders down there or not, I don't know. The builders I know about were all from Louisville.
There's a simplicity to this that I'm a little bit shocked ever faded away. I'm shocked that more people don't look at this and go, wow, I don't need 15 decoys. I don't need to build an area. I'll just go get them wherever they're at.
You know, I think one of the reasons for that may be, and my sort of experience hunting ducks, my father and his cousin, and there was rollover boat hunters around. From about 1960 up through the mid-70s or so, there wasn't hardly anybody hunting ducks in this piece of the river. I hunted decoys and these old boats, and I knew every duck hunter in the river. I'd see somebody there, you knew you were going to know them. So I think there was a generation in there that just wasn't hunting ducks as much and lost interest in it, and these things sort of faded into obscurity, and the people who made them, to sell them, they died a long time ago.
The beautiful thing about this, you set in a blind, duck hunting, you see the same terrain all day long. In this situation, you're kind of exploring.
Well, and what's really funny, none of the wildlife on the bank is afraid of you.
Yeah.
There's one particular bank we roll over, and not this past year, the year before, we killed 4 coyotes off of that bank out of this boat with a shotgun in less than 15 yards. If the wind is right, they don't even look at the water. Squirrels don't look at the water. Turkeys don't look at the water. Nothing on the bank is afraid of you. It's really, really interesting.
Really incredible.
Deer aren't afraid of you. I mean, I roll up on them and holler at them.
The only camo that you really need is you need to have something on your head, and that's it, right?
That's it.
I mean, because everything else is being hidden by the boat.
And you really don't want camo because it doesn't look right. Everything that's in the river Notice the color of the river, how the water, how it matches the outside of the boat.
Yeah.
My outfit's always sort of the same color.
At the angle that I was at, leaning completely on the left-hand side gunnel, the only way that a duck could have seen me, it had to already been in flight.
Correct.
Well, Randy, I have to say this experience has been a lot different than what I was expecting. And I can think of many hunting situations where using a rollover boat like this would be a great way to sneak in on some game. "2020 is here, but if you're still holding deer tags from 2019, you still have a chance. Archery season doesn't go out till January the 21st. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.